If you've been on YouTube for a while, you've probably heard of Bo Burnham. Starting off by writing funny songs and posting them on YouTube from his parents' attic, he blew up overnight with My Whole Family and My Little Secret in 2006. Together, they accumulated a total of 13.5 million views.
My whole family thinks I'm gay. I guess it's always been that way. Maybe it's 'cause of the way I walk that makes them think that I like boys.
From there, he continued to post musical comedy and slowly turned his voyeuristic, crass songs about Helen Keller's disabilities, homosexuality, and white supremacy into a legitimate stand-up career. He released his first hour, entitled Words, 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 in 2010 on Comedy Central, followed by What in 2013 on YouTube and Netflix, and then Make Happy in 2016 on Netflix. In my opinion, Make Happy is the pinnacle of Bo's particular brand of avant-garde comedy and is the best thing he has created thus far. Although it is about many things, at its core, Make Happy is about performing. One of the fascinating things Bo does in regards to this is performing to three separate types of audiences. First of all, there's the audience physically present during the taping, the live audience. With them, Bo instantly creates and retains a dynamic of distrust that carries through the entire show. For example, the show begins like this.
Entertainers are not here to help you. They are here to control you. Never listen to them. Never give them what they want. And most importantly, never make some fucking
The audience is meant to assume that the man on stage is Bo himself, but when the show starts, Bo enters from stage right, shooing the hooded man off stage. Immediately, Bo has lied to the live audience without uttering a single word. This immediate deceit plays into one of the show's main themes: don't trust anyone who is performing. Not Bo, not Jimmy Fallon, and certainly not yourself. In previous shows, self-degradation was a large part of his act, but Bo abandons that, or at least abandons using himself as a punchline in the show. Instead, he degrades the audience, making fun of their Pavlovian behavior and mocking their idolization of him. One of the most telling moments of the show that reinforces this notion goes like this.
No, you fucking don't. You do not. Hater's gonna hate, lover's gonna love. You need to reject both sides of the spectrum to leave a healthy middle. Stop participating. Not a participatory thing going on up here. Trying to immortalize something I've worked on for a long time. Shut up.
This adoration of the performer by the audience is an aspect of fame Bo makes clear he is against. Besides this heckling incident, he has 3 songs in the special, Kill Yourself, Can't Handle This, and Pandering, that address it. But when he's expressing this opinion, his persona shows a certain softness where he's trying to tell the audience that there is better entertainment and that they deserve that. Celebrity lip sync is the example given of the type of drivel that clogs up mainstream media, and Bo is sure to let them know that.
Anyone watch us celebrity lip syncing on The Tonight Show, you know? It's the end of culture. Culture's over, everybody. We lost.
This persona of his is what I refer to as the performer. It is meant to represent an entertainer, but a satirical version of one, every aspect over-exaggerated for the purpose of making his points. The aforementioned softness is Bo's true self coming through the performer.
They're lying to you, that's all. They're lying. Entertainers, they are lying, and they are manipulating you, and it's not in the good way. It's like advertising. You deserve better. I'm not saying I'm it, but I'm the guy that says you deserve better. You go get better. You say, thank you, weird man, bye.
There are many Janushan changes like this, where Bo will oscillate between himself and the performer, and it is always when he is at his most emotional, which correlates with when he is pushing his point the hardest. Bo wants, so desperately, for people, his audience, to seek out better and to utilize media to its fullest extent. That's what making happy really is. The second type of audience is present briefly, but they leave a significant impact on the show to the point where their presence is felt throughout the show. The one point where they appear is towards the middle of the show. Bo is trying to get into his next bit, but this happens.
Twice in a week? What is this?
Hey, Bo, you want to sing a song with us?
Okay.
Great.
I don't know the words, though.
That's all right. You'll figure it out.
All right. Woo!
Hey, Bo, guess what?
What?
You're a faggot.
Wasn't clever, it was just mean. Bigoted. I apologize for that. So I was interrupted the other day while I...
Hey, Bo, you
Motherfucker.
wanna sing another song together?
I really don't.
Too bad.
God damn it.
Hey, Bo, guess what?
I'm a faggot. It's not funny. Can you turn the lights off at least, please? Is this funny to you people? Turn it off. Turn the track off. Why was it not a record player? You got a record player back there? You have...
This type of audience seems to be a representation of the haters. Irrational, obtuse, and offensive, it represents the vapidity and ignorance that internet can cultivate, and how that can be weaponized towards famous people. It is meant to show how the anonymity of the internet cultivates a divorcing between a famous person's real self and their famous self, the performer, which makes it easy to call them slurs from behind a keyboard. The final type of audience Bo plays with is you, the viewer. Sitting at home, you're an audience to Bo Burnham. Super meta, I know. While the live audience can absorb most of Bo's points on performance and fame, the fact that the viewer is watching them watch him adds another layer and more oomph to his point. He tells the viewer something, and then demonstrates that on the live audience, in real time.
Fuck these people. How dare they think that them fucking around is worthy of your attention? Them playing Pictionary, your attention's a valuable thing. I worked for 3 years to get it for an hour, and I barely get there. See?
Being able to watch an audience be manipulated and mocked leads to a self-awareness of yourself as the viewer. You're both one step ahead and one step behind them, but you can come out of the special with a heightened sense of awareness in respect to how entertainers manipulate their viewers. Now, while the layers of audiences and stage personas and such are fascinating, it is not the most impressive part of Make Happy. The most fascinating aspect of the show is that this analysis, everything I have written, filmed, and edited up to this point, is entirely redundant. Essentially just a waste of time. Why? Because while you're watching the show, Bo is deconstructing it. He makes it impossible to miss his point because he clearly states it. But even when he does so, there's an elegance to it. He is not preaching to you. This intricate system of audiences, stage personas, and deconstruction leads to something that transcends its medium. This isn't just a comedy special in the traditional sense. Bo is not talking about that goofy encounter he had while doing laundry, and it is not presented as such.
You want an honest comedian? Go see the rest of them, all right? This thing actually happened. Cool.
The lighting, music, and choreography all culminates into an experience. The best example of this, and of everything that I've written about, is the show's final song, Can't Handle This. It is preceded by a monologue where Bo lays bare his point.
It's about performing. I try to make my show about other things, but it always ends up becoming about performing. I started performing very young. As a teenager, professionally, and as a comedian, what you're supposed to talk about what you know. And what I knew always was performing. So to talk about traffic or laundry felt incredibly disingenuous, but I worried that making a show about performing would be too meta, it wouldn't be relatable to people that aren't performers. But what I found is that I don't think anyone isn't. Could we get the house lights up for a second? And could you let the lights on stage, let the artifice fade away. Now we're all the same. I mean, you're all facing this way still. I look out at you and it's a very diverse crowd. I mean, more European than I would have hoped, but we'll get there. But look at the young people, and I feel like I was born in 1990 and I was sort of raised in America when it was a cult of self-expression, and I was just taught, express myself and have things to say, and everyone will care about them. And I think everyone was taught that, and most of us found out no one gives a shit what we think. So we flock to performers by the thousands because we're the few that have found an audience, and then I'm supposed to get up here and say, follow your dreams, as if this is a meritocracy. It is not, okay? I had a privileged life, and I got lucky, and I'm unhappy. They say it's like the me generation. It's not. It's not. The arrogance is taught, or it was cultivated. It's self-conscious. That's what it is. It's conscious of self. Social media, it's just the market's answer to a generation that demanded to perform. So the market said, here, perform everything to each other all the time for no reason. It's prison. It's horrific. It is performer and audience melded together. What do we want more than to lie in our bed at the end of the day and just watch our life as a satisfied audience member? I know very little about anything, but what I do know is that if you can live your life without an audience, You should do it.
This sets the stage for the closing song of the show, a messy auto-tune rant where he again oscillates between the performer and Bo. At first, he jokes about how Pringle cans are too small and his burrito from Chipotle is overstuffed.
I can't fit my hand inside a Pringle can. I have a huge amount of trouble fitting my hand inside of a Pringle can.
This serves two purposes. It is criticizing mainstream performers by poking at how they claim to open up but continue on with their vapidity. Secondly, the anecdotes are heavy in their reference to prominent brands, further satirizing mainstream celebrities for the pursuit of relatability and respect to their audience. However, he then opens up to the audience, being the most honest he has been for the entire show, saying that they are his biggest problem. How he wants to please them and he feels that it's his responsibility, but he feels as if it borders on selfishness. That the gratification he gains from their adoration is undeserving. How he knows nothing but pleasing them, so he isn't sure where to go from there.
I can sit here and pretend like my biggest problems are Pringle cans and burritos. The truth is my biggest problem's you. I want to please you, but I want to stay true to myself. I want to give you the night out that you deserve, but I want to say what I think and not care what you think about it. A part of me loves you, part of me hates you, part of me needs you, part of me fears you.
And, as the song's title suggests, he can't handle this.
This right now. I don't think that I can handle this right now.
Everything comes to a head here. The lights are brilliant, the music is perfect, and the camera direction is impeccable. When the song ends, you see Bo depart the stage from the perspective of someone in the audience, the first time this type of shot is utilized. It almost evokes a sense of solipsism, uniting the live audience and the viewer for a brief instance, reinforcing the idea that everyone is a live audience to someone, a final push of the entertainers aren't to be trusted theme. Make Happy hits hard, and it does so with such finesse that you can't help but be in awe. The epilogue of Make Happy is for the viewer only. You follow Bo backstage where there is a piano and he plays a short song, Are You Happy? Although it is phrased as a question to the viewer, it quickly becomes about Bo. He's asking whether his audience's satisfaction is enough to make him happy, and whether if happiness is something he could ever truly achieve as a performer. At the end, he walks out of a door next to the piano to greet a woman and a baby, presumably representative of family, but even further, of real, personal human connection. This ending seems to be hopeful. Bo, as a performer, will never be quite fulfilled with the industry in which he exists, and will not feel comfortable doing what he does. But Bo, as a person, understands that it is human connection that truly fulfills him, and that he can never get that fully from being on stage. At the end of the day, his happiness exists independently of the audience's, and it must for him to stay sane. Nevertheless, this made me happy. Thank you, Bo.